Yeah. Yeah. Strand. What is that? Strand.
All right, Flooded Strand to start the game. Haven't seen Ben on stream in a while. Ben on the right with Jeskai. Miracles on the left. That would be Force of Fill. Turn 1 Ponder for Force of Fill. Sinorna says, did you know if you ask 9 out of 10 Legacy players if they want free dual lands, they will say yes? Wow. What are the 1 out of 10 players asking for? All right, finding a basic plains. Both players playing control, obviously different builds.
Yep.
Thunder Trap Trainer, everybody.
3 and 4. Go.
So Brainstorm found with the trainer. Sinorna, thank you for the sub with Prime. 41 months. And Sinorna says, stupid ads, I missed your reply. You're supposed to sub first, Sinorna. There's a Merchant Scroll for Force of Fill. Wow. Finding Brainstorm. All right, so both players have found strange ways of finding brainstorms. Maybe at this point, Thundertrap Trainer, not very strange. It's definitely a top creature in the format now. I've been joking that Thundertrap Trainer came out a year ago, but it took Legacy players 2 years to find it. Card's good. We finally have an Otter front and center in the Legacy format, everybody. We did it.
Whoa. Do you mind triggering the... I don't know how to...
All right. Well, sometimes these life counters freak out on people. But we fixed it. Thank you, Force of Fill. So a basic island found by Prismatic Vista. And we are playing another Thundertrap Trainer. I love this card.
Force of negation.
Force of Negation this time. Got some Hildebrand action. What does Force of Fill have here? Force of Fill should be able to deal with these 1-power creatures in time. That's not really a concern. All right, Prismatic Vista, going to eliminate one now. If you've been watching our live streams, Phil likes these very few win con, very cantrippy control decks. A lot of draw, pass the turn stuff. This current... Ooh, that's a back to basics hitting the stack. This current Jeskai deck, a little bit more frequently we'll be tapping out.
It's in Stone Ring. Good. 1. Yep. Go.
All right, in this case, back to basics works as a Stone Rain. Tundra's tapped down for now. Thundertrap Trainer gets an attack. It's going to get swordsed. Well, no doubt back to basics is going to be problematic for Phil, potentially. Does Phil have enough basics to function here? We may be about to find out. Fetching. Okay, another basic for Phil. Phil's been running decks with very few basics recently, so this is like an update we're seeing right now. Okay, there's Counterbalance hitting the stack. It's getting Spell Pierced. All right. Counterbalance is countered.
Go. Cast Illuminator.
Oh, okay. This is a card that some of you might not know. Cemetery Illuminator. Card that shows up in Force of Phil's lists here and there. The Illuminator from Crimson Vow has been out for a while. Phil uses it in these decks, and they're pretty cool. Yeah, Mr. Bips in the chat reminding everyone that we here in the 90s MTG community know every card in every version, every printing. Yeah. Okay, the Illuminator is in. Phil gets to look at the top of the deck. When she's turn, you may cast a spell from the top of your library if it shares a card type with the card exile with this creature. Whenever it enters or attacks, exile a card from a graveyard. So the more types you add, the more different kinds of things you can cast off the top of your deck. As of right now, instant with Brainstorm. Mr. Bips showing dedication here, and some of you not dedicated enough. Mr. Bips says, instead of playing with my kids, I study Scryfall. You know what, Mr. Bips? You're a real one. Keep up the good work. We love you. We care about you. But get well soon. All right, Tamiyo is on the board. Brainstorm might flip Tamiyo.
Yes. 1, 2.
Okay, Lord is Mr. Bips' kid, it turns out. I did not know that.
Trigger. Yep.
All right, Tamiyo flips over. It's now a Planeswalker. Ticks up to loyalty 4. The Cemetery Illuminator can attack it.
Yes.
Illuminator is base 2/3. All right, now Ben has a mountain.
Shuffle, shuffle. Ponder. Sure.
Now a Ponder. Yeah, Dan's in the news now. Honestly, it's nice to see Dan getting a chance to shine. Haven't played it myself much, but I appreciate what it is. It's very cool. We do have some Dan players in our local community. Dan deck makers or whatever.
Sorry. You good?
Darth wondering, was Back to Basics tested for 1v1? Yes, it was tested for 1v1 by today's standards. It was in the Urza's Saga set.
Counter in this hand, I all my stuff is gonna end up.
Those of you that are new around here, we only like cards that are properly tested for 1v1, okay? For standard play, all right? It's all important. Mort says, I've heard there is some difference between that and the standard list. Are you talking about Dan? I just have no idea.
And then it's
I didn't know there was like a standard Dan or something.
I wish you could underneath this.
I don't know what's happening. Yeah, Urza's Saga was very much tested perfectly for standard. That's why we allow it in Legacy. Okay, apparently the Dan deck has been sped up for quicker games. Hopefully, I you know, being optimistic, Wizards kind of cracked Dan, figured out a deck that makes for really great Dan play, and people get into Dan. All right, Force of Will on a Prismatic Ending going after Tamiyo. Brainstorm now for Force of Fill. Capture of Jingzhu is in a usual include. Did they usually have Time Warp? I just don't know. But that card needed a reprint. Or at least I think it did. Or at least I like that it got reprinted.
Pass.
You know, I told the story before about how I played with Roland's Dan deck, and I just didn't play an island, and the game went on forever. And I didn't even realize at the time, it was my first time playing Dan, I think. I didn't even realize at the time that I was being, like, really annoying. I was just trying to figure out, how do I win this? I was genuinely trying to play optimally in Dan, which I guess wasn't really the point. Sometimes I don't know how to read the room, you know.
Cast predict. Play myself. Underground.
Because I think Roland had like 2 Dandans in play, and I'm like, if I play an island, I'm just gonna lose the game. How do I don't know what to do. Folks, Dandan is hard.
Good? Or yeah, just drop the card. No worries.
All right, Force of Phil very suspiciously dropped a card. We have to investigate that. Snapcaster Brainstorm here, trying to look for ways to. All right, well, swordsing the Cemetery Illuminator now. Tamio might be about to be a lot safer.
Force pitch of Lorian revealed.
Okay, Phil has the force pitching Lorian revealed. Okay, looks like Tamio got minus for swords, swordsing it again, and the Illuminator's gone.
Go.
So it took some effort. The Illuminator and Tamio are both gone. Snapcaster remains. Back to basics remains. Another Illuminator. Oh boy.
Trigger on the stack. Yeah, throws off. I'll get rid of the source of plowshares, sure.
All right, source of plowshares will be selected by the Illuminator.
I'll pass. Ponder. Sure.
All right, here's a ponder for Ben. Speaking of Dandan and all that, we do have a local player that built a green Dandan deck. Like, it was. Oh, there's like a land that a green land that becomes a 4-power creature that I can't remember the name. Anyway, that was the point of the deck, and it was a mono green Dandan, very cool. And then our other friend Derek built mono black Barrow Ghoul in the Spirit of Dandan deck with like Unearths and Barrow Ghoul. I just hope the Dandan thing catches on. I think the whole thing is really cool.
Brainstorm. Yep.
More cantrips. Mort with a great question. Chris, what is your favorite basic land? So, I mean, it just is a nostalgia hit maybe for me more than anything. But the original Ice Age basics were the ones that were in my first collection, and those just do it for me. I love the Ice Age basics, the original ones. My first ever cards I got were in an Ice Age starter deck. Have I done Judge Tower? Maybe. Is that where you can turn anything in your hand into a land or whatever?
And then I'm gonna, yeah, right back.
All right. Small battles going on here. Snapcaster continues to stick around and swing away. Both players with a bunch of basics. Only Tundra tapped down by this back to basics so far. Phil has been able to fight through this back to basics fine.
Yeah.
All right, Force of Will on top of the deck with Mystic Sanctuary. Cemetery Illuminator again.
Source plowshares.
Yeah, I feel like Dandans and Judge Towers and Cubes and all that stuff don't get enough love, and I don't know. I like that stuff. The goofy cubes and weird formats people make up on the fly. Like, it feels like good kitchen table magic, if that makes sense.
Draw.
Well, there's a Cemetery Illuminator on the board again.
Trigger, draw. Go.
Dress down. Just getting a card off the top, shutting down the Illuminator's attacks ability for a turn and not allowing Phil to take a look for a turn. Back online now.
Yep. One.
Yeah, I don't think I've played this Judge Tower thing now that everybody's explaining what it is. I don't think I've done that. More cantrips happening. No signs of planeswalkers yet. Sometimes the win con for Force of Fill is a single copy of Entreat the Angels. Sometimes we see Jace the Mind Sculptor. And yeah, the Jeskai deck hasn't really shown Flame of Honor or any of that yet. All right, Force of Negation.
This.
They're battling over removal on the Cemetery Illuminator again.
I'm brainstorming.
Right. Yeah, I'm responding. Yeah, this and then this. Yeah, there you go.
Cards? One.
I think that's out of order, actually, but anyway.
Pitch a predict.
Force pitching predict, and the stack is cleared. Cemetery Illuminator will stick around. Brainstorm will resolve.
Predicts.
Oh no, Phil actually started the chain. Phil brainstorm, swords in response. It was done right. Ramalito, thank you for the sub with Prime. 24 months. That's a 2-year badge. We got there. Thank you, Ramalito, for sticking with us.
I'm going to predict target myself. Tundra.
Cemetery Illuminator sticking around. Both players still at reasonably high life totals for these controlled matchups. Force of Will goes back on top of the deck for Phil with Mystic Sanctuary. Taking a look at the graveyard. Going to get rid of swords, which could potentially be a way to remove this Illuminator later. Phil can cast that. Another swords. Oh, my goodness. All right, Force of Will. I was just about to say, Phil can cast a Force of Will off the top of the deck. He will, and that'll get a concession. Phil takes game 1.
We planned this week, like, he picked the date because EW has never been, like, so early on,
Yeah.
and we just, like, got completely rolled. So,
Well, at least you're going to be able to grab dinner afterwards with people and stuff.
yeah, I'm also, like, riding over with people,
Yeah.
so it's like, don't have to worry about it.
All right, now Ben will be on the play. Tamio passed the turn. There's a threat.
I like, but, I don't know.
And swords. Force pitching force. And Tamio will stick around, maybe. Tamio's in.
I have some stinkers in my main deck, let me tell you. Make it clear.
Ben has stinkers in the main. Brainstorm for Ben now.
Fuck out of here.
Whoa. We see some pre-modern love in the chat. We do have pre-modern weeklies here in New York City. We were just talking about this last night. Pre-modern gets roughly 15, 20 players, I think they said. Pauper gets a lot of players at an LGS in Manhattan. And Legacy continues to be... We had, what was it, 35 players at Legacy FNM last week? I think 36 was the week before. Lot of players for the Eternal formats and non-rotating formats right now. The older formats, whatever you want to call it. few times recently I went to Legacy FNM and I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah.
this is too many people. It's just too crowded. And I joke with some of our local friends like, all right, guys, stop telling people about these events. It's just too much.
Pyroblast.
Meanwhile, I'm the one telling most people. That was a Pyroblast? I guess it was.
Fetches, right? That's
All right, Pyroblast takes out Tamio. I guess that was an altar that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
Oh no, I got you for that first one.
Oh, okay, cool.
You force plus 2 fetches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tamio down.
Well, I have to do this. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the aggro flipping against Phil's deck may not be necessary. 35 players at FNM. We do 4 rounds at FNM for Legacy.
Target me draws first.
You got
All right, there's Flame of Honor.
It's like predict, but
better.
Lord of the Rings, everybody. Let's never go back to Middle Earth, right, everybody? Nobody likes it. Yuck.
damn you. Yes. I will attempt to target myself and draw 2 cards, and I will choose not another move.
All right, another Flame of Honor. Tamio. It's going to flip. There it is.
4. I play land already this turn, go to you.
There should be a rule like if you complained about Lord of the Rings the first time around, you don't get to have Hobbit cards. Is that fair?
Prismatic ending, X equals 1. Allowed. Away with E.
Prismatic ending will remove Tamio. Ben says it's allowed. Passing it back. Phil's Cemetery Illuminator is impressed in game 1. I wonder if they'll show up here in game 2.
I don't know. But then, like, a day's back.
5 rounds at FNM seems like a lot, TBH.
Thundertrap Trainer?
By the time we hit round 4 at FNM, I'm like, I'm pretty spent, honestly.
Shuffle. Go to the bottom.
Thundertrap Trainer finds Surgical Extraction here. That might do something fun.
Go.
I'll pass.
Pop the school token? Sure. Draw. Attack. Upkeep. Draw.
Yeah, that's a problem with, like, game 1 or 2 is, like, I'm always on the back end of card of the day.
Yeah, but by the time we hit round 4, my opponent could be at 3 life, and I'm holding a lightning bolt, and I'm just like, I don't know what the play is. I'm just spent.
Combat? Yep.
I get so tired. All right, Thundertrap Trainer comes in.
He's here, Braver.
Taking a look at Phil's graveyard, we do have that Surgical Extraction. I'm gonna go after Pyroblast. Okay. Okay. I think that's what we're chosen. Wait, I'm not sure of the timing of this brainstorm. Okay, so Surgical's targeting Pyroblast, brainstorm in response. Body language kind of threw me off for a moment there. So brainstorm in response to Surgical, targeting Pyroblast, confirmed.
I don't know. I want to. Well, no. Anything that you play reanimated on.
Predict target myself.
Yeah.
Lorenzo.
Yep.
That is predict. Lorien revealed gets milled.
That's fine.
Sure. And then your hand.
You have a full set.
Nice. All right.
Sheesh. 4 Force of Wills and Force of Phil's hand. Merchant Scroll, Counterbalance, and looking through the deck for more Pyroblasts.
One life. Good thing I need to get this because I would not.
So here's this.
I think Phil's confusing Legacy with Poker right now, given that hand.
So then, what next? Merchant Scroll. Cameo?
Cards.
3.
All right, Tameo, 3 cards left in Ben's hand. Force pitching Force. Twitch chat might not be liking Ben's chances here given Phil's hand. Flame of Honor.
Cards left. 2.
2 cards left in Ben's hand. Phil thinking about it. Is worth countering Flame of Honor. Trying to find an answer to this Force of Will on Tameo. Although it... Might just be trying to clear out Phil's hand.
Yeah.
Definitely casting a Force, thinking about what to pitch. Merchant Scroll or Counterbalance? Or Force of Will, I guess. Alright, Counterbalance it is. Counterbalance is pitched to Force, and Tameo and Flame of Honor are both countered.
Force and a Merchant Scroll. Go to you.
So Phil's hand, Force of Will, Merchant Scroll, unknown card. Merchant Scroll looks like it's getting cast. It'll resolve. What is Phil looking for? Okay, just Brainstorm. Brainstorm's a good card.
Keep drawing. 1. Go.
Okay, Thundertrap Trainer gets another attack in. Chipping away. Little by little. Counterbalance resolves. That'll be potentially quite disruptive. Phil does know how to manipulate the top of the deck. We'll have to see how this plays out. Counterbalance pretty good.
I hope that this doesn't just turn me into a... Also, the likelihood of this not working is just pretty high. Ending X equals 1, target this.
Okay, Prismatic Ending, X is 1. Phil's going to Brainstorm in response. Trying to get this Counterbalance off the board. Triple Fetch from Ben. Maybe going to Force of Negation the Brainstorm?
This could be, okay, so 2 basics and then anything. So, how about basic, basic, and then anything. Big Force of Will.
Force of Will, sorry. I said Force of Negation. Cemetery Illuminator on top of the deck. Counterbalance is eliminated by Prismatic Ending.
Broken. Busted.
Alright, attack you for 1, and then it's go to you. So, gear, cast the gear. Yeah.
Trigger on the side.
Yeah.
Cemetery Illuminator resolves. Gonna take a look at Ben's graveyard again.
Here, why don't I just get this to you?
Phil thinking about what type to choose here, maybe more than anything. Goes for Surgical. Okay. So now Phil can cast Instance off the top, which is pretty cool. Thundertrap Trainer remains, but not liking its odds to race this Illuminator.
I'm gonna offspring this.
Thundertrap Trainer with Offspring. All right, might be getting some backup here. Phil's going to force that pitching Predict. Then a Tameo. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Comment. Attack.
Yeah. Probably not the creature, but it's like 4 flame.
Alep, thank you for the sub with Prime 15 months, and a hello from Brazil. Hello from New York. Thank you for being here. I have a lot of viewers in Brazil. Appreciate you.
Wait, hold on. This is... Let's
You're taking 2.
What? This
Oh,
is,
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm blocking.
Yeah, that's
That
fine.
second man.
Post-combat, yeah.
Bing.
Have we ever cared about combat?
Yeah, right?
All right, Tamio blocked the Cemetery Illuminator, but Tamio survived combat, gets Prismatic Ending after the fact. Ponder and Surgical are the cards exiled by the Illuminator right now, so Phil can cast instants or sorceries off the top of the deck once per turn. The Brainstorm happening right now will help set the top of the deck for Phil. Thundertrap Trainer's still alive. I don't think Phil really cares about it right now. All right, there's a sorcery, rather, off the top. Prismatic Ending. Thundertrap Trainer is gone. Looks like Phil's holding a copy of Mystic Sanctuary, at least one, which could be pretty good. Lorien Revealed is going to change the top of the deck now. Find a Mystic Sanctuary, put it in hand. I think we're seeing how Phil kind of builds towards a complete lock here.
Combat. I'll hit this guy.
Okay, now Thundertrap Trainer was taken by the Illuminator, so Phil can cast creatures off the top. Force of Will goes back on top of the deck with Mystic Sanctuary. Keep in mind, Phil can cast it from there. Ponder resolves for Ben. It looks like Ben's going to need a lot of help from the top of the deck to get across the finish line, right, folks? The Mystic Sanctuaries and the Illuminator. Yeah, this Illuminator is rad in Phil's deck, I agree. Every once in a while, Phil shows up with the Miracles deck with Illuminator, and it impresses. Phil definitely likes digging in the kind of the bulk bins, so to speak, of the LGS, is picking out some blue cards and giving them a try for various formats, not just Legacy. Another Illuminator. Things are getting interesting.
Exile your Ponder. Cast Mercy Scroll with this good.
Spell Pierce on a Merchant Scroll. It's something.
Sure. 2, you have another here.
Is there anything that this one hasn't gotten rid of yet?
Land, creature.
Yeah, get rid of a flame.
Okay.
All right, just going to get rid of a Flame of Honor. Might as well. Mystic Sanctuary. Brainstorm moves to the top of the deck. Phil can cast it from there. Thundertrap Trainer, Offspring, Brainstorm off the top of the deck. Using one of the Illuminators. Can Phil stop this Offspring Thundertrap Trainer? Yep, looks like Force Pitching Merchant Scroll. Pyroblast. Thundertrap Trainer is in.
Alright, so for sure.
Oh my goodness, no Offspring token? Oh boy.
Pretty good.
4 lands off the top, a complete whiff on the first.
Bad cards. It's because I'm not playing with my last
Good,
ones.
great 4-card bowls, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right, a Brainstorm found. So now, Thundertrap Trainer, the red sleeve is a Thundertrap Trainer Offspring token. that is a violation of the rules of the stream. No offspring token for Ben. Really unfortunate. Phil has a lot of things exiled by these Illuminators. They're going to start swinging together, it seems. Predict, names Underground Sea, dumps that.
Combat. Attack here. This one will get rid of a Pyro Blast. This one will get rid of a Flame.
Just removing some key spells out of Ben's graveyard that Snapcaster could potentially make use of later. Ben drops to 8. Phil drops a Tundra.
Pass.
Ben is able to brainstorm.
Clean up the board for them. They can all pretty much cast everything at this point.
Yeah, Phil can cast just about every relevant type in his deck off the top of the library right now, twice per turn, basically, with the Cemetery Illuminators. Ben's Otters will not be able to race very well here. Ben needs to get these Illuminators off the board, I think, as a start. It's going to be tough. Brainstorming now, still in the middle of that. Compared to game one, Phil does have more non-basics on the board. Something to think about. I don't know if Back to Basics just got sided out here.
Me draw 2 cards, deal 5 damage to this.
Okay, Flame of Honor, going after a Thunder Trap Trainer. 5 damage to it, and draw 2 cards. Ben has 2 wizards on the board, so we're able to choose 2 modes.
Even
I'm going to cast Eye on the Ceiling.
I'm gonna read that. Oh baby, exile. Oh, it flickers it.
Okay, I can flicker any artifacts or creatures.
I'm gonna respond.
So X is 2, so I'm going to target.
New card from Spider-Man, Hide on the Ceiling, getting cast here, trying to blink both Illuminators, it seems.
And I'll target. I'll target both of them.
Snapcaster Mage in response to the Hide on the Ceiling. Choosing Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce on Hide of the Ceiling, it's countered. The Illuminator is eliminated by Flame of Honor. Ben draws the 2 cards, attacks with the Otters. All right, so Ben might have just had a big turn. Now has 4 power on the board. Got rid of one of the Illuminators. I'm not clear. I mean, I know instant sorcery are like the big ones. I'm not clear if this Illuminator has more types or less types than we had before, but Phil's going to ponder now. And I believe, by the way, we just had a historic moment on 90s MTG for anyone paying attention, for anyone that cares. The first ever Spider-Man card on 90s MTG, I believe we just saw. And round of applause, everybody. Round of applause. Write this down, everybody. You were there.
Get rid of
Just 10 goes in there. I'll take 2.
Okay, another Flame of Honor gets exiled by Cemetery Illuminator. Phil has counterbalance on the board now, which could be interesting.
Yep.
Okay, so again.
Same thing. Another flame.
I think so. That's the only removal spell that's left in here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Another Illuminator. Can take the other Flame of Honor.
Pass. Offspring.
Another Thunder Trap Trainer with Offspring reveals Get Lost on top of the deck, and Tells the Thunderdraft trainer to get lost from the stack. Goodbye.
Attack, attack, attack. So, unironically, I have to Power Blast target this.
Can I trigger?
Yep. Yep.
Falling for Phil's nasty tricks here. Power Blast on the Illuminator. Mystic Sanctuary going to put a number 1 on top, and Power Blast will be countered. Brainstorm goes to the top of the deck. Power Blast is countered by Counterbalance.
This is a 9. If I chump attack you here, you block this, you take 2, you go to 7. Alright, pass to you. Draw very skilled.
All right, Ben thinks if he can draw really well, he can potentially get out of this situation.
Ponder. Cast Lorien off the top.
Lorien revealed, cast off the top of Phil's library. That's pretty gross. Brainstorm for Phil here. Seeing a lot of cards. Trying to close this out. Ben's only at 6.
Go to combat. Check it for 4. Exile Ponder with this guy and Power Blast with this guy. Sure.
Go to 2.
All right, dropping to 2 now is Ben after another attack from the Illuminators. A couple more cards get exiled. Running out of time. Lord says, just bought my playset of Illuminators. Going to try it in Modern. Do it! Oh my goodness. Thwart ends the match. Thwart, everybody.